Hello, it's me again. I'm your hostess, Back to the Basics. This is a Back to the Basics brief. The title of this is The Blackout. I'm going to try to move through this quickly because this is regarding an Army regulation, FM 6 2003, ethnic cleansing operations. The banner that is running at the bottom of the screen, just as a disclaimer, none of my statements are endorsed by the United States Army, Department of Defense, and or any other military branch, element, or government entity. I'm going to repeat that one more time. None of my statements are endorsed by the United States Army, Department of Department of Defense, and or any other military branch, element, or government entity. That will continue to run throughout the duration of this broadcast slash podcast. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Let me take this off of here. Oh, and I would like you to hit the like button and to subscribe. Yes, indeed. I'm all about, putting out information and for people to make their own conclusions. This isn't about you agreeing with my opinion. This is more about you getting the information and making your own personal, drawing your own conclusion as to the information that is being put out. Let me get this off of here. There we go. So now we're actually into the regulation. Let me just slide on over. There we go. This regulation is 145 pages. We're not going to go through all 145 pages. This is a quote from the author. In this war, your uniform will be your skin and you cannot take it off. We'll talk a little bit more about who the author is, which the author of this regulation is currently unknown, but they had a little, 2 cents that they put towards the end of this regulation that I will read. Let's keep going. July 2003. As you can see, not copyrighted, distribute widely, which is what I am doing right now. We're going to skip past a few things. Table of contents. Here we go with the forward. I'm going to read the highlighted here. Imagine watching television reports throughout that day, watching the violence grow from random to organized and then to the systematic killings of entire families only because they had white skin. In truth, small incidents of ethnic cleansing have been going on in the United States for decades, but today, new militant influences have taken root among American Blacks, who are beginning to talk openly about the widespread ethnic cleansing of people with white skin. Here we go with this reverse psychology, but let me keep going on. Politicians are struggling to ignore this ticking time bomb, but it is there nonetheless. Whites must wake up to the fact that we are not only victims of ongoing racist violence, but that we are about to be attacked with the intent of wiping out our entire race. Interesting how the author, with most of this regulation, most of it is it is psychological warfare, and a good portion of it uses reverse psychology. Let me just say here, as a Black woman, I don't wake up every day thinking about how I'm going to wipe out the Caucasian, European, non-black race or races. I have other things to do due to let me see, there's other things I have to be situationally aware of because of the complexion of my skin. But anyway, let me go to the bubble. Here's what I said. They have killed us and hunted us for centuries, yet they paint black people as the instigators, predators. Another false narrative. Notice what I highlight next, which is part of, a sentence of the next paragraph. This book is written specifically for the white race. Here, another false narrative. Yes, whites do commit crimes, but in numbers nowhere near those of blacks. And I put lies. White on white crime is ridiculous. Black people account for almost 14% of the American population. Now, here's my thing. We can talk about black on black crime all day long. We can talk about how black people are disproportionately represented in the criminal justice system. We can talk about that. That is true. Black on black crime is a problem. But what we don't hear is white on white crime. Okay, you got 14% of the population. And okay, within that, okay, what was it? The last number was what? There's like a 50 some percent, what, black to black crime rate within the 14%. But then you have to wonder what's going on with the other 86% of the population that is non-black. They are also committing crimes against themselves because crime is predominantly a intra-racial phenomena. Intra meaning within the race. And then they mention this right here. Hold on here. Uh-oh. There we go. And then in this bubble, here's what I put. When were we as black people welcomed in America? And throughout this regulation, they're going to give examples of incidents where, black people were either targeting white or European individuals or whatever have you. We know that that has happened on both sides. But they could only come up with a few in this regulation. Let me keep going. Here we go. Even though I do not dislike every member of any race, I am forced by black racists to fight back or die. So again, you're painting here again. The author is painting everybody, I guess, who is black or who may have a pro-black Afrocentric ideology as a racist. Let me tell you one thing. I have never believed that I myself am better than anybody, because that's what a racist is. A racist is like, okay, my race is supreme and above everybody else. At least that's what I thought the definition of what a racist is. Me, I've never really had or co-signed on that type of mentality. I would love to be, kumbaya and be cool with everybody. But as we can see here throughout centuries through history, particularly just looking at 2020, we see that not all life is valued. We can go on these hashtag, we can go on these, on all these, as far as Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Muslim Lives Matter, Jewish lives matter. We can go. We can just go right on down the line. But the point is, not all life is valued. All we have to do is see who, what, as far as police brutality and how many unarmed Black people have been killed over many centuries. And then look what this sick individual had the nerve to say. What this makes me is a racist, but a different kind of racist, a racist by necessity. Okay, but you just said that you're a racist. So whether if it's by necessity or whether if okay, you're a racist because due to hey, we need to survive or whatever, you just literally said that you're a racist. And then look what this person says. Call me what you will, the genie of white nationalism is out of the bottle and it will not be put back inside. Wow. Let me keep going. Here we go. Here's the intro, finally. This manual concerns the military operations necessary to eradicate the predatory Black race from the contiguous United States. Did you not? Okay, first of all, for all these so called people who don't believe that there is systematic racism, okay, I'm gonna need you to pause the video, pause the broadcast, and reread that first sentence of the introduction. This manual concerns the military operations necessary to eradicate the predatory Black race from the contiguous United States. So again, another narrative, predatory. As I have stated before, I have other things to do with my life. I want to continue to be a productive human being in society in which my complexion just happens to be dark, classified as Black. I'm not going to make time to prey on other people when I have my, we as a people, as Black people, we have our own issues. I personally have my own things that I work through each and every day. Let me keep going. Instead, this manual was written to deal with the primary threat to the white race, Blacks. So here we go again. Notice the author. Notice these false narratives, and oh, now again. So if you're such a racist and a white supremacist or whatever we're calling it, and if okay, you're so supreme, and if you okay make the laws, enforce the laws, whatever have you, right? Then why do you perceive Black people as a threat if you truly believe that you are supreme over Black people? That doesn't make any sense. So pretty much your argument is already starting to fall apart, sir. How am I threatening you just because I actually exist? Here we go for because we are in this political season. Of all the political movements in the United States, the strongest is by far the Dixie movement. They had the longest history, a legitimate nation in their past, defeat in battle, occupation, reconstruction, their own holidays, songs, heroes, and the determination to rise again. There's no doubt that if any symbol should signify the final righting of an old wrong, it is Dixie. Therefore, the Confederate battle flag is to be the great unifying symbol of Civil War II. So that they're pretty much using the same flag. That flag signified and still signifies Caucasians fighting to be a yeah. That flag signified and still signifies Caucasians fighting to be a Caucasian nation. The people of the Confederacy knew that to free the slaves and allow them to live among whites was racial suicide. So here we go. You're so supreme, right? Then why are you afraid? And that is a question to the author. Because if a person is secure, they're not worried about anybody. They don't see anybody as a threat. If a person really believes that they're supreme to rule over everybody else. Here we go. Check this out. The United States should have, as every other slave owning country did, repatriated the blacks to their original places of purchase. You see that word? Repatriated. Reparations sure have been talked about a lot. For the purpose of the offensive operations taught in this manual, the expulsion of all blacks will be the primary goal, with the targeting of other non-white races incidental to its purposes. Hello, Hispanic community. This is a courtesy warning to you. I'm going to read that one more time. For the purpose of the offensive operations taught in this manual, the expulsion of all blacks. That's right, Candace Owens, baby. You too. Will be the primary goal, with the target of other non-white races incidental to its purposes. So the goal is they're going to start with us, black people, then they gonna move on down to the to the Hispanics, and then the Latino community. Yeah, they gonna come after you too, and then the Asian community. I know some of y'all have. Let me tell you something about the Asian community. No disrespect to you, because I had a chance to go over to South Korea and I loved it. Probably would go again. Let me tell you something. You're just a lighter complexion of brown. Don't think that just because you may classify as white, that right there will give you protection, because it really won't. I know that the Japanese have not forgotten about the internment camps that were done at like right around World War II time frame. You're right. Look at the author. Some of the strategies will be adequate as is, but keep in mind that the enemy will also acquire this manual, read it, and attempt to create countermeasures. You're darn right, author. You're really smart. Because see, you being a retired general of the United States Army, and don't think, oh, I can easily find out who and what your identity is. Real interesting how you write such bold statements, but then you don't even reveal exactly who you are. The enemy. You know who the real enemy is? The real enemy and the common denominator is oppression. You know who the real enemy is? How about let's talk about this Federal Reserve and this International Monetary Fund and all these other central banks? How about this money that gets printed, but yet it's not backed by gold? You want to talk about the enemy? You see, sir, if you would put your energy into like fighting against that, that would actually be a little bit more, I'd actually tip my hat to you. But quite frankly, I don't really care if you're a veteran, because I don't have any respect for you. I don't care if you served for 30 years. You're so educated, but yet you're not really exercising critical thinking or intelligence. Yes, I said that. I'm a Black woman. I'm not intimidated by you at all. I'm not better than you. I don't believe that I'm better than you. I'm a human being just like you are. Just happen to be a female that has dark complexion. You're darn right that the enemy will you see Black people as the enemy. So yes, we do read. See, y'all messed up when whenever we were able to learn how to read. Some of us still pick up a book and read. We're not just out here acting like a whole of acting all crazy, like all the social media and media in general, wants to push. And don't worry, we've already created countermeasures. Since you said attempt to create, ain't nobody had to attempt to create anything, sir. We already have countermeasures. We already got it. Don't worry about it. Because again, look who was in a rush to write such a manual. An educated white man, a retired veteran from the United States Army, huh? If you are not commander material, that is no problem. There is room for you in this war. So you're the one who wants the war. I ain't seen a Black manual talking about war. I might have to look that one up about warfare. Because we see who's instigating it, and it's not us. You know who the enemies of the white race are in your neighborhood and in your town. Prepare a list and have it ready when ethnic cleansing operations pass through your area. Here we go. So my skin color automatically makes me an enemy of white people. I myself have other things to think about and do besides plotting against others. This is the thought pattern of a narcissistic, gone psychopath. So, whatever happened to you, sir, during your long military career, you need to go get some mental health. Look at this terrible picture right here. That's awful. Here we go. Check out what the author says. Every February, Black History Month, we are all reminded that there is no other ethnic group that has been given an entire month to promote their jungle culture. Oh, who else said the word jungle? Didn't Joe Biden use that word? He didn't want his children growing up in a jungle. Oh, another racist. Anyway, um, and then look at this lie. The accomplishments of the white race are a galaxy beyond all the other races put together. Well, you know what? A lot of you, or should I say your people, sir, talking to this general, this retired piece of crap. Um, I don't care how many years you served. Come out of here there with that mindset. I don't know what to tell you. Are a galaxy beyond all the other races put together. Well, you had to remember, sir, if my memory serves me right, a lot of your people stole. There were a lot of Black inventors that pretty much stole that because again, Black people couldn't get patents for their inventions. So I get, that was just an easy pass on your part, right? On your people's part. They wish they were like us. See, that's what you wish. No, I'm fine. I wrote a paper back in college, and you know what race, if I could change my race, that I would probably be? Probably Native American. Native American or maybe Asian, but right now, shoot, I'm good. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I've been celebrating this for the past 9 years, and I'm going to continue to celebrate. No, I don't want to be like you. Why would I want to have such a messed up mindset where I believe that everybody that has dark complexion is after me to kill me? Because I know you served along black people whenever you were in the service. And if that's what you got, I mean, out of that, I don't know what to tell you because I got it. Some people have very bad experiences, but not everybody is going to fit these various narratives, these various stereotypes, these various boxes that people are put in. And you could very well say, well, well, you're putting me in a box. I'm going off of what you wrote, sir. These are words that you wrote. They wish they were like us. No, negative. I'm fine. I don't want to be a white man. No, I'm good. I don't want to be a man, period. I've been being a woman for the past 34 years. I'm good. I can continue to do so. And I put, no, white people wish they were black. There is an obsession over our black bodies and a lucrative business for our black organs. Anybody watched, what was that movie? Get Out? That movie came out in what, 2017? Yeah, that movie came out in like March of 2017. Yeah. And then, oh, we're going to get into this gangster rap real quick. Okay, cool. So here we go. Let's continue to blame black people. Blacks have taken to using their songs and music to spread their hatred and instigate acts of violence against whites, called gangster rap. The songs clearly describe the hopes and dreams of most blacks. Okay, so I don't even listen to gangster rap, but anyway, this form of rap has become immensely popular, creating a multi-million dollar a year industry. And then the author goes into various quotes from various songs. Here we go. If I might correct you, sir, white people are behind the rap labels. So who really made gangster rap popular? Black people don't own the wicked music industry. See, all these black rappers and all that, that is just a black face. What you need to research, sir, since you're so educated, since you're such an educated white man, how about you research who actually own these music labels? Because it's not black people. If you look at most of these owners, they are non-black. So again, you're so educated, but yet you're not doing your proper research. I'm going to pass through all these lyrics. And in fact, let me do this. Here we go. Another false narrative. Blacks are psychologically preparing themselves to ethnic cleanse whites. Okay. You took one lyric and then applied it to a whole group of people. Personally, here's some of my thoughts. I want to live a long, healthy life. Look around. The oppressors are the elites and they want depopulation. Ethnic cleansing is a way to achieve their goal. And then I find it interesting how even the enemy Since you say that I'm the enemy, sir, it's too easy. I can just put a mirror right in front of you, and I can just parrot what. Yeah, the enemy likes to give backhanded compliments, because you see who is mentioned, the Honorable Reverend Louis Farrakhan. Shout out to him, who is still with us and who did lead that Million Man March back in 1995, where over what was it around 2 million black men marched on Washington. You see, even the enemy had to give credit to that. And then, of course, the Nation of Islam is also mentioned. Then he has the nerve to mention psychological warfare. Let me tell you something. This FM 6-2 2003 is psychological warfare. The very thing that you're talking about, the various narratives and the lies that you're talking about is psychological warfare. Well, you see, that's a very Hitler mentality. And no, personally, I don't see how you lasted that long in the military, because you see, we don't need any more racist people in the military or any more veterans with that type of mindset. Look at this, spewing out anti-white hate music 24 hours a day. Okay, this whole FM 6-2003 is an anti-black hate literature. So the very thing that you're trying to tell somebody not to do, you're doing. You're doing the same thing. We can debate this for hours. But I will say this, psychological warfare is real. Then he goes into all these white hate crime victims. But however, what you forget, how many how many black men and women go missing in this country every year? Every year we go missing. Then he talked about, the Washington D.C. sniper. But let me keep going. I'm gonna pass up all this BS. I'm gonna pass all this up. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get to these guns, shall we? Yeah. The scrub brushes of ethnic cleansing. Here we go. Personal weapons must be compact and robust with a high rate of fire and very lightweight ammunition. Overall, soldier loads must be reduced dramatically at the edge of combat, since fighting in tall buildings requires what? Agility. Soldiers will need more upper body strength and will generally need to be more fit, and this includes support soldiers as well. Boom. There we go. Picture of the M4, which me personally, I prefer the M16 because the M16 has a longer barrel and it is more accurate. Just saying. Here we go. I'm going to highlight this right now. The founding fathers of this once great nation were white men, and the gun rights they proclaimed in the Bill of Rights were penned to protect the life and liberty of white men. Here we go. Shout out to all the various Black content creators on YouTube who have touched on this. I know some have asked, well, why doesn't the NRA do anything? Because you realize the NRA was created for white people. Let me read this one more time. The founding fathers of this once great nation were white men, and the gun rights they proclaimed in the Bill of Rights were penned to protect the life and liberty of white men and women. Here we go. I'm going to read this sentence too. Gun rights were created as much to ensure the protection of whites from oppressive government as from the bestial behavior of non-white savages. I'm going to read that one more time. Gun rights were created as much to ensure the protection of whites from oppressive government as from the bestial behavior of non-white savages. Interesting how Nick Cannon used the word savages and he got canceled. I wonder why they didn't boot your tail out of the military. Because if I would have seen this, yeah, somebody would have been having a chapter packet put together or something. There would have been an EO complaint. So it's interesting. You know what? Ooh, I might have to do a part 2 to this. Let me keep going. Got an EO policy, but yet we also have a Army regulation with all these words: white, blacks. There was another word in here that was used. So yeah, you served in the military for what? Well over 2, possibly 3 decades. And you should have got called out for EO and you should have been reprimanded for it, if not kicked out, for even writing such racist things that I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's offended by this. Because you say non-white savages. So that you know what that means? That means you're not just talking about black people. That means you're talking about Hispanics, Asians, people of Middle Eastern descent, anybody who is pretty much non-white, as you say, right? That includes people who have olive skin tone. Okay, so that includes a whole that includes multiple ethnicities. Mind you, this regulation is ethnic cleansing. We just happen to be the number one target. Black people, we just happen to be the number one target. Let me keep going. Because like I said, I didn't want this to be too long. I'm going to go through these weapons. I'm going to go through this. Here we go. Military nomenclature, as y'all can see. Y'all can pause the video and keep going. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, this is terrible too. Let me go on back. I might have went a little bit too far. Did I go too far? What page am I at? No, I don't think I went too far. Who will fight? Bam. There we go. That's right. Let's talk about who's going to fight in this ethnic cleansing, huh? Let's talk about that. As of 2003, the military forces of the United States are still commanded exclusively by whites. You see, here we go with this racist language, whites and blacks. I mean, this is supposed to be 20. What was this? This was written in 2003. So why are we using language like it's like 1953? Huh, sir? Okay, I'm gonna keep addressing you. Federal forces and their equipment will play a vital role in ethnic cleansing operations. Federal forces and their equipment. The soldiers know this and are aware of how little trust their leaders have in them. Others slights will lead to desertions, with shifts in loyalty falling along racial lines. When soldiers quit and join ethnically pure groups, they will take whatever they can grab out of the arsenals and motor pools. The ruling elite of the United States are aware of this and have taken great pains to purge known militia members out of the Guard. Still, most National Guard units are composed primarily of whites and can be expected to join the fighting at the beginning. Here we go. The ruling elite class is the shadow government. Remember, this is an U.S. Army field manual. Y'all can pause and read. When they get into various groups, white gangs, bikers, they get into everybody as far as who will be fighting. But you notice who they talked about first was the soldiers. Here we go. I'm going to read this. Here we go. Second, they talked about all these various groups as far as who's going to fight in this ethnic cleansing, right? The terror they produced, excuse me, second, the terror they produce and spread is a force multiplier. Forces which engage in, here we go, beheadings, mutilations, the burnings of occupied buildings, and other acts will remind retreating blacks of past lynchings and other acts directed at them, which they fully deserved. Wow. Do you hear what this retired general had to say? Hate speech. So we deserved to be beheaded, mutilated, burnt at the stake, lynched. See? A racist white supremacist. Look at what this man said. Hate speech. So the original people deserve to be killed, but without us, you white people wouldn't exist. You wouldn't even exist, sir, if it wasn't for black people. The African genome, all you have to do is study it. Again, you're talking all this fluff, but yet you're not, oh, I'm educated. Okay, well, then you need to go read some more, sir. You need to go read some more. I could easily start yelling and acting crazy, but why? When you are clearly haven't researched where your people even come from. We don't deserve these things that you speak of. For what? So the very people that you technically come from, you want to destroy. How ironic is that? The average white person doesn't care for non-whites any more than you do, but just isn't motivated. It will take a major economic depression to get them off their asses, and even then only a small percentage will pick up 3 guns and take part in the offense. A small percentage of whites will be more than enough to drive all the blacks out the country entirely, keeping in mind that only 12% of the total US population is black. And I said it only takes a few black people to be unified to counterattack. Remember, Gideon had 300 men and against thousands of people. We don't need that many. You're making it really sound like it's just going to be easy for you to just push everybody out. Okay. Here we go. Now for the people who are not racist like this person, you had the nerve to say that we deserve that. See page 62, B1. You're looking at this, right? I know you are. This Negrophobian, this person that is hostile against black people and against black culture, against black society, had the nerve to say that we deserved all these things. We didn't deserve that. So you're telling me that the Native Americans deserve the Trail of Tears? Because you just said up here previously that I have scrolled up, non-white savages, right? Okay, I'm going. As for whites who do get in the way, they should be forced out right along with the non-whites or exterminated. So anyone who would come to our defense or aid, remember, you will also, they will target you as well. People like this with this messed up mindset who has the nerve to say that forces which engage in beheadings, mutilations, the burning of occupied buildings, and other acts will remind retreating blacks of past lynchings and other acts directed at them, which they fully deserved. You see that? I don't see how you sleep at night, sir, having that much hate within yourself. How do you sleep? How do you rest? Obviously, you don't rest. You obviously must not have any peace of mind if you got hate on your mind. What type of hate? What type of terrible mindset a person would have to be in order to actually say this, to believe it and put it on paper? Wow. But again, anybody who, yeah. So anybody white who, again, who gets in the way of this blackout operation, you also will be exterminated. And they know, because here we go. You see, the enemy is really evil. This shows the evilness of people because it's more than just about skin color. This is about intentions of the heart. Black military veterans will undoubtedly be the best shots. First priority should also be given to shooting any black with a scoped rifle or scoped pistol. Assign snipers to immediately drop any black who appears to handle his weapon in a skillful manner. So they're already going to target black military veterans. Anybody who again, anybody who appears to handle their weapon, who knows how to shoot well, that they're going to come after it, after after that person or persons. As I said, eat right, exercise, and go to the range. Here we go. Commanders can also expect initial resistance from order following white National Guard soldiers and white police. And then, of course, they're going to say with loudspeakers to, have them come over on their side. Efforts should be made via loudspeakers and leaflets to bring them over to the white side. Should they balk, they should be eliminated and their weapons passed along to enthusiastic, racially conscious whites. There we go. And again, as you can imagine, NATO forces, again, if something like this were to occur, NATO forces, UN troops would it probably, no doubt, be in the United States. Should they open fire, return fire mainly toward black NATO or UN troops. Use loudspeakers to inform the white soldiers that you do not wish to shoot them and offer them an opportunity to withdraw. If they refuse and continue to attack, respond with maximum force. Notice the use of loudspeakers, visual, and audio media is important. What goes in at various frequencies affects our minds and mood. Visual and audio media is important. What goes in and at various frequencies affects our minds and mood. Let me keep going. White units should make use of Spanish-speaking whites to compose appropriate Psy-war documents and broadcasts. Here we go. Here we go again. Psychological warfare. Here we go. Another racist term. Chicanos. Like, who uses these terms other than a hateful white, a hateful individual, a human being that pretty much has hate. Here we go. There is a high degree of natural animosity between blacks and Chicanos, so use it to full advantage. There we go. They don't want people. They don't want no black brown coalition. Come on now. How to. Here we go. Chapter 5. Now, what are the 5 key elements of ethnic cleansing? Here they are. Concentration, surround the area to be cleansed. Decapitation, execute political leaders and those capable of taking their places, lawyers, judges, public officials, writers, professors. Separation, divide females, children, and old men from males of fighting age, 16 to 60 years old. Evacuation, transport females, children, and old men to the border, expelling them into a neighboring territory or country. And then liquidation, execute fighting age males, dispose of bodies. See the ages? 16 to 60. See that? Let me pump that up a little bit. Yeah. Concentration, decapitation, separation, evacuation, liquidation. So they're going to use media. Massive deportations, detention and ill treatment of the unwanted, and their relocation to prisons and camps. Opening fire on civilian targets, blowing up and burning homes and places of businesses, destruction of cultural symbols and religious monuments, as well as sites, mass displacement of entire communities. This is what someone like this general wants. Look at this. Look at that. Transportation facilities. The use of civilians as human shields. It's going to get ugly. Deliberate shelling. There we go. Deliberate shelling. Deliberate shelling of food distribution centers, bakeries, water purification and transport facilities, communication hubs, cultural monuments, and religious objects. This is not a game. And here's what I said. This is not a regulation to get the mind going. This is what this person really wants. Check this out. You see this? Look at that. And look who they have maps of. Black people and Hispanics. And mind you, look at this racist term. They had the nerve to call Hispanics Chicanos. I mean, I'm using it again because that's what's in this writing. But I don't even use that to talk, if they're Hispanic, they're Hispanic. Would you see this? But yet, this is a regulation to get the mind going. No, it ain't. You guys have maps of where groups of people are concentrated. So this is not just to get the mind going. See, White military and paramilitary leaders should study these maps and contemplate where to apply the pressure of force and fear. Check out who's mentioned. Houston to Dallas. Okay, Texas. Houston to Dallas should be studied topographically. Watch Texas, y'all. See this? Door to door ethnic cleansing. Just gonna knock on the door. They may come in and shoot, or they may drag people out and shoot them right on the spot. Door to door ethnic cleansing. Coming to a neighborhood near you. Shoot on sight. SOS. How do you scatter a group? They went into detail about this. Fire along one end and they will instantly begin running in the other direction. Adjust for range and windage. But this is just a regulation just to get the mind going, right? Wait a minute, wait a moment and let them begin to crowd together. Then begin firing at the opposite end and they will stop running and reverse their direction. They will pack together even more tightly and flee toward the center. Aim your weapons at a point near the estimated center and fire for effect. Bracketing is a combat proven method. Use it often. So they plan on kicking us out over to Mexico. Mexicans have long existing ethnic friction with blacks, so it is safe. It is a safe bet that Mexico will not willingly take them. And then, of course, they mention Canada, And look at this. While this situation will be highly chaotic, it is an opportune time to gather funds for your group by charging tolls to exiting blacks to proceed south. The fee should be the entire amount of money they have on them, plus all items of value. In addition, blacks should be forced to sign a form stating that every piece of property they own is now abandoned. You see this? So, okay, the goal is to pretty much kill us and kick us out. And then you want to charge a toll with taking all of the money that's on us and items of value. So, even if you don't get killed, we're going to kick you out with nothing so that you can die. And then we want you to sign this form saying that all your property is now abandoned. Look at that. Birth certificates, deeds, car titles, fees and documents. Watch out for this. Confiscate all their identifications, deeds, car titles, birth certificates, and other official papers and attach them to the form. See Appendix B. Utilize bad weather to your advantage. Cloudy conditions obscure regular photography, and night images do not reveal detail. Oh, I guess not if you don't have night vision goggles, now don't it, right, sir? But if you have night vision goggles, you see you can see in the dark. We're getting there. Let me keep. Here we go. On this list, you will not only want to note the names and addresses of non whites, you will want to add Black leaders, ministers, politicians, and professionals. Include white liberals who support and fund Black causes. Add members of local chapters of watchdog and leftist groups like Human Rights Watch, Revolutionary Communist Party USA, Refuse and Resist, the Spartacus League, Answer, Coalition for International Justice, the International Crisis Group, No Peace Without Justice, Physicians for Human Rights, Militia Watchdog, and the like. So this person who wrote this, sir, you must be at war with everybody else except yourself. So it doesn't really matter what complexion the person, an individual's skin color is. You're just at war with everybody. Here we go. Race traders here. Okay. Another category you'll want to add is that of race traders, those whites who have married blacks and those who have adopted the culture and mannerisms of non-whites. Race traders are to be cleansed right along with the savages they like so much. Oh, okay. Yep. The same savage in which you came from. Because, like I said, if there was no African genome, you wouldn't even exist, sir. Oh, and look who they mentioned. Black spy Harriet Tubman performed 19 intelligence gatherings missions for the Union Army. She was grossly underestimated by every Confederate she encountered and was able to smuggle 300 blacks to the Union North. This mistake is not to be repeated. Every black, regardless of their age, sex, or appearance, is suspect. Okay. Real interesting how, sir, you repeatedly give backhanded comments. So Harriet Tubman messed up you guys. So did the Nation of Islam. And you also mentioned the Honorable the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But you notice who he didn't mention? He didn't mention the Black church. So you see, even the enemy mentions who affects, who was able to mess up their mission, should I say. Which is, you notice how the Black church was not even mentioned? I didn't even see where the NAACP was mentioned in here. Chapter 6, Operation Blackout. Here we go. Here's the commander's intent. All personnel are to be totally cognizant that the entire mission from start to finish is to rid the lower 48 United States of predatory blacks. Get rid of us. Okay. There's a symbol. Get them moving. Utilize psychological warfare in every facet of the offense. Well, we know that. Here we go. They're going to start in the north and push south. Weather will play a definite part in the offense. So they're going to use cannon and machine gun fire and then use atomic and chemical weapons. Like I said, it's going to get ugly. So it's going to start in New York, Detroit, and even LA. Woo. Look at what this monster said. It may become necessary to destroy a city in order to save it. Okay. Good luck with your psychological warfare. Because you're going to destroy cities regardless of. Okay. Shell black neighborhoods until forward observers report the population is beginning to flee. Look at that. 50 cal machine guns in Mark 19. Wow. See, this is a war to this person. This is a war. Then they're going to drive people out. They will begin on the East Coast, Washington, D.C. Columns of blacks should be fired on with light weapons every few miles in order to encourage them to keep moving, and shelled when they make an unauthorized stop. Wow. So it's going to start here. LA. We see some, yep, here's the central part. Burn down all buildings bearing a black-owned sign. Well, there you go. Black-owned businesses, be on the lookout. So pretty much they're gonna kill us, kick us out, and then destroy all evidence that we were here. Pretty much. Okay. Midwest forces will drive the blacks south toward Louisiana, possibly pack them in freight and cattle cars and ship them in masses. Use all available trains to move black deportees to Mexico. So they want to kick us out and go to Mexico. The fall of LA, Los Angeles, represents the end of phase 2. So part people will be going to either Louisiana, the other part, East Coast, will start in, Washington, D.C., push them all the way down to Florida. East Coast forces should drive blacks southward towards Florida. The racial fault lines. Here we go. Phase 3. Here we go. This is where it really gets chaotic. Midwest forces should avoid attacking Atlanta. Like Washington, D.C., the city is almost entirely black. Drive forces which have swept down from Kansas, Oklahoma, and other states will now link up and consolidate. So they're going to consolidate, it looks like, finally into Texas, pushing everybody over there on to Mexico. And then this is where they want the blacks and Hispanics to pretty much destroy each other. Yeah, they want us to destroy each other. Hence the last sentence. The blacks and, I'm gonna say, Hispanics will slaughter each other. I don't know why. I mean, just terrible using that type of term for Hispanics. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, sir. You really ought to be ashamed. Dallas and Fort Worth. So they're going to shell Dallas and Fort Worth. Okay. Once all blacks have been driven across the Rio Grande River into Mexico, have artillery continue to push them into Mexico until they are out of range. Psychological operation units should be used to polarize the Mexicans against the blacks. Remember, the goal is not only to eject the blacks from the United States, it is also to reduce their ability to fight their way back into the United States as much as possible. Well, if you're already killing us and doing all this, why would we want to even come back? You know? And then here we go with this psychological warfare leaflet. Here we go. Oh, yeah, we're your friend. Yeah, okay. Yeah. have a UN soldier, and then proceed to the United Nations refugee centers in Mexico. Okay. When is it going to happen? You don't know. We don't know. See? Hey, Hispanic community, you see this? The real threat in the United States is the presence of the black race, with the Hispanics not far behind them. See, they don't like y'all neither. And then this person has the nerve to say waste down the toilet. Okay, I can't. What did I put here? Here we go. Notice this is a military strategy to flush us black people into Mexico and Cuba. So they want to push us to Mexico and Cuba. Okay. So they're like, oh yeah, and listen to the guard and get to know the equipment, of course. Notice this will not be a war of squads, but of companies and divisions. Okay. We have invented virtually everything that makes up the modern technological world. No, you haven't. Nope, that's another lie. Really? How many black people invented stuff and couldn't get a patent? Right. See, you forgot about that, sir. And if and now I might have to add something to this presentation. I'm trying to come to an end. You the master and they the inferior. No, I'm not inferior. I'm not a child. Nope. And as far as us being equals, it's clearly obvious who thinks of themselves as superior, or you wouldn't even have this in here. They the inferior and master and all this other stuff. Okay. Here we go. Everyone who participates in an operation of this magnitude does so in the knowledge that their race is more important than any else in this earthly life. Which race we can argue back and forth and get, existential, that is just in itself a social construct. It is easy to foresee what will happen when the cockroaches that perpetuate 75% of the violent crimes are among us no longer. Oh, here we go. Another individual who wants to use the word cockroaches. Oh, like Cardi B did with dark skinned black women. Okay. Yeah, you guys got issues. Like I said, who else used the term cockroaches? Recommended reading. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go with this Birth of a Nation. Here we go with this Birth of a Nation. Uh, Psychological warfare. Yeah. We're after it. Yeah, we're so after you guys. We're just trying to survive just like everybody else. And this is Operation Blackout. This is what they want. Yeah, this is what they want. Let me go. I'm over an hour now, so now we're gonna wrap it up. I did go on a few rants. It is what it is. Let me just go to. I'm gonna go to page 142 because this is all of the extra stuff. Y'all can go to the appendixes. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see what the author had to say. Yeah, he had so much he wanted to say, right? About the author of this racist uh, regulation. Here we go. I deeply regret being unable to reveal my identity to my reading audience, but the racial and political situation in the United States has become so dangerous that to do so would result in my death. Keeping my, pretty much, keeping himself anonymous. Anonymity, anonymity, say some of these words, will allow me to write additional works to benefit the white race. What can be revealed is that I am a racially conscious, college educated white man and a military veteran. Okay, you're so college educated, but yet you can't research. You didn't research thoroughly. Because if you were so educated, you'd realize that if it wasn't for the African genome, you wouldn't even exist. I have served with honor in militia organizations, entering as a low level officer and working up to the rank of general. So again, you weren't even enlisted. In addition to planning and directing large field exercises, I was a director of classroom instruction of a large underground militia for over a decade. My topics of instruction include strategic planning, tactical operations, logistics, high tech communications, and combined arm operations. This manual is result of more than 3 decades of research and experience. Okay, you researched, but you didn't research enough. I trust that the readers of this manual will copy and share it with every racially conscious white person they know. I encourage you to not only copy this book onto compact discs, but also to put it on your websites where it can be downloaded at no charge. God bless the white race, July 4th, 2003. Oh, how patriotic of you. Yeah, how patriotic of you. Yeah. And that is the end of the regulation. No, this is a little long. We're coming up on, we're past 75 minutes. But again, I just wanted to share this. Again, none of my statements are endorsed by the United States Army, Department of Defense, and or any other military branch, element, or government entity. But this is something that everybody should know about. And like I said, if you go back and do the replay, you'll notice that this is not copyrighted material. He put on there distribute widely, so you already knew that we was going to get our hands on it. But just remember something, to the author and to all those who may be watching and listening, we are coming for our check. Oh yeah, most definitely. Me personally, shout out to Minister Maponya, well, Bishop Maponya Joshua. And in a couple of days, the selection, oh excuse me, excuse me, the election will be election will be happening here in about 2 days. Listen to see, excuse me, learn to see, listen, and think for yourself. I know this was a rough one. Some people are going to see this and still believe, oh no, systematic racism doesn't exist. You know, that, if you're on that Candace Owens mentality, I feel sorry for you. This is a real regulation. This is not a joke. Okay. This is not, yeah, this is no joke. But I thank you for being here. This was a lengthy episode. Another Back to the Basics brief. I'm your hostess, Back to the Basics. I make no apologies for what was put out. This is real. This is not a figure of the imagination. I love you as a sister. To all those who, again, made it to the end and who happen to be non black, just saying, Hispanics, like after they kick us out, who knows? The person who wrote this regulation has the intent. They said, we need to get the black people out first and then the Hispanics. So saying, just trying to, hey, this is this doesn't just apply to us. But it's not just psychological warfare, it is also spiritual warfare. The enemy, this is what he wants. Someone who spews this much hate wants that to rub off on, that person wants that to they want to spread that hate. Me, I don't hate this person. I actually feel sorry for you. Yeah, I really do. Because I'm good over here. I have other things to do besides, you know, target non-black people or make other people's lives a miserable hell. But anyway, for all the people who are watching and listening, I love you as a sister. For all those who were able to get to the end, I thank you. I do encourage this to be replayed and watched. I'm gonna see how long this makes it through, without it getting struck down or anything, trying to stay within the community guidelines. It is what it is. One more time, none of my statements are endorsed by the United States Army, Department of Defense, and or any other military branch, element, or government entity. This was a tough one. Some people I know this is going to mess up, this is going to might mess up your ideology a little bit. It might, but hey, expand the perimeters of your mind. And, be safe out there. Shoot, we still got COVID-19 spiking around here, right? Still got COVID-19 spiking up around here. But happy Sunday. I love you as a sister. The Most High be with you to lead, guide, and protect your footsteps. And with that, I'm gone.